We really do live in a world quite focused on appearance, don't we? I mean, just think about the time, the effort, the money we all put into looking our best. It's huge.
It really is staggering when you stop and think about it.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, does all that focus on the outside actually, ripple inwards? Does it affect how we treat other people? Could feeling better about how we look make us, well, kinder or more generous?
That is precisely the fascinating question tackled by Natalia Kononov and Danit Ein-Gar, both from the Collar School of Management at Tel Aviv University and Stefano Puntoni from Wharton at the University of Pennsylvania.
Ah,
Their paper, it's called Physical Appearance Improvements Increase Pro-Social Behavior, and it was published in the International Journal of Research and Marketing. It really gets into this unexpected connection.
okay, great. So that's what we're diving into today. We want to unpack what this research found. This core idea that, deliberately trying to enhance our appearance doing our hair, maybe just using a filter, might actually nudge us towards being more helpful, more ethical, like donating or picking the fair trade coffee.
Exactly. It's less about vanity, as you said, and more about understanding maybe a hidden driver behind why we help others sometimes.
Right. So what's the headline finding?
Well, the central discovery, and they ran 7 studies to explore this, is that when people actually do something to improve their appearance, whether it's, real world stuff or even digital, it tends to ramp up their public self-awareness.
Public self-awareness. Okay, break that down for us. What does that mean here?
It's essentially being more tuned into how you think others see you, your public image. The research suggests that feeling you look better makes you more conscious of that perception. And that heightened awareness, that's the key. It seems to lead to more pro-social actions, helping, donating, things like that. And interestingly, the effect seems stronger if the improvement is something other people might actually notice.
Okay, so it's not just feeling good inside. It's partly anticipating that others might see you differently. That seems to be part of the mechanism.
That's definitely a key piece of the puzzle they propose. And this work by Kononov, Ein-Gar, and Puntoni, it makes some really interesting contributions.
Like what?
Well, firstly, it gives us a new angle on appearance perception itself. It shows that these intentional acts of beautification don't just, boost self-esteem, but they can actually influence these socially positive behaviors. And public self-awareness is the bridge, the mechanism making that connection.
Right, so feel good about your looks, more aware of being judged, want that judgment to be positive overall, act more pro-socially. Something like that.
That's a pretty good summary of the proposed pathway, yeah. Secondly, it really adds a fresh perspective to why people act pro-socially. Usually, research looks at, say, how attractive the person asking for help is, or maybe the recipient.
Yeah, or the sob story, the emotional pull.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Kononov, Ein-Gar, and Puntoni are saying, hang on, maybe how the donor feels about their own appearance matters too. That's quite new.
That really is a different angle. The idea that my new haircut might make me slightly more likely to donate later. It's not intuitive, is it?
Not at all. And another point is their contribution to understanding public self-awareness itself. We often think that being more aware of your public image might make you want to improve your looks.
Sure, that makes sense.
But they show the reverse can happen too. Actively improving your appearance can actually increase your public self-awareness. It seems to work both ways.
Huh. A feedback loop almost.
Kind of, yeah. And feeling good about your appearance tunes you into that public image,
Right.
which then...
Pushes you towards doing good deeds.
Okay.
And you mentioned it affects the amount of help too.
Yes, that's another interesting insight. Pro-social behavior isn't just a yes-no decision. It's often about how much. Their findings suggest this heightened public self-awareness can influence both the decision to help in the first place and also the extent maybe donating more, for example.
So more likely to click donate and
Yeah.
maybe up the amount from $5 to $10.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And one last thing which is really relevant today is the digital aspect. They show that even just digitally enhancing your look, like with a selfie filter, can trigger this pro-social effect.
Okay, let's nail down the definition they're using. Physical appearance improvement. What counts?
So Kononov, Ein-Gar, and Puntoni define it as deliberate actions someone takes specifically to enhance their looks and feel more beautiful. The intention matters. It's about wanting to appear more attractive.
Right.
And this can cover, well, loads of things. Beauty products, lawn services, grooming, changing clothes, putting on makeup, and like we said, even digital stuff like filters.
Got it. And the link to public self-awareness. How exactly do they think that works? Why does feeling prettier make you more aware of your public image?
Well, the idea is that improving your appearance is often a visible change. It's something you might expect others to notice, right?
Yeah, you hope so sometimes.
Exactly. So that expectation that others might see you, maybe evaluate you positively because of the effort. That's what seems to activate this heightened public self-awareness. It's like you've put yourself out there a bit more by improving your looks, so you become more sensitive to potential social evaluation.
So even if I just change my hair and I'm sitting at home, I might still feel more on display in my own head because I anticipate seeing people later.
That seems to be the idea. And when you're in that state, feeling more sensitive to how others might see you, you're more likely to behave in ways that maintain a positive image, ways that fit social norms.
And being generous or ethical is definitely seen as a good thing.
Precisely. That's where the prosocial link comes in.
Okay, this is fascinating. Let's get into the studies themselves. Which one really highlights this core connection clearly?
Study 1 is a good starting point. They used a recall task. They asked one group of people to vividly remember a time they significantly improved their appearance and felt really beautiful.
Okay.
The control group just recalled viewing a beautiful landscape. Then they measured everyone's willingness to donate to UNICEF and also if they'd share the campaign online. Critically, they also measured mood to make sure that wasn't the driving factor.
Right, because feeling good generally might make you more generous anyway, so what happened?
Well, the group that recalled improving their appearance, they were significantly more willing to donate a larger amount, and they were also marginally more likely to say they'd share the campaign. This was true even though their reported mood levels weren't different from the landscape group.
Wow. Okay, so it wasn't just being in a good mood. It was something specific about recalling that appearance boost. What kinds of improvements did people actually write about?
Oh, it was a real mix of everyday things, getting a haircut or changing hair color, making progress with fitness or weight, using skincare, dressing up, applying makeup, things many people do regularly.
So even these routine things could have this subtle effect. What about study 2? Did that add another layer?
It did. Study 2 tried to isolate the beautifying aspect. They had people imagine using one of two creams, either a facial cream explicitly for enhancing beauty or a foot cream focused just on, foot health, not really about visible beauty enhancement.
Okay, so beauty versus non-beauty self-care.
Exactly. Then they measured donation willingness again, plus things like guilt and how sociable people felt.
And did the type of cream matter?
Yes, significantly. Only the group imagining the beautifying facial cream showed that increased willingness to donate. Sociability didn't differ. Interestingly, the beauty group reported a bit more guilt, maybe about indulging. But that guilt didn't explain the donation effect. It really seemed linked to the beautification goal.
So it confirms it's not just any self-improvement, but specifically feeling more attractive. Okay, study 3 then brought in the public part more directly, right? Public observability.
Yes. In study 3, participants imagined improving a photo. For some, it was their own selfie using a beautifying filter. For others, it was just improving a landscape photo.
Right.
Then came the manipulation. Half were told to imagine uploading this photo to social media, high public visibility. The other half imagined just saving it privately, low visibility.
Right.
Then donation willingness was measured.
Okay, this seems crucial. Did imagining others seeing the improved selfie make a difference?
Absolutely. The appearance improvement, the enhanced selfie, only boosted donation willingness when people thought they'd be sharing it publicly.
Wow.
In the low visibility condition where they just saved the photo privately, there was no real difference between improving the selfie or the landscape photo.
That really hammers home the idea that anticipating being seen, that public self-awareness element, is key. It's not just the internal feeling. Okay, study 4 shifted to ethical buying.
Correct. Another form of prosocial behavior. Participants recalled either an appearance improvement or, as a control, their last trip to the grocery store.
Okay.
Then they faced a choice. Buy a standard, luxurious chocolate bar or a slightly more expensive one known for being ethically sourced. Researchers also measured public self-awareness, mood, and things like guilt about spending on appearance or wanting to compensate.
And did the appearance recall nudge them towards the ethical chocolate?
It did. Those who'd recalled improving their appearance showed a stronger preference for the ethical brand. And importantly, statistical analysis showed this was mediated by their increased public self-awareness. It wasn't explained by mood or guilt or feeling like they needed to compensate for focusing on themselves.
Fascinating. So, feeling good about your looks, more aware of public image.
Sure.
Choose the option that looks better socially, i.e. the ethical one.
Wow.
I
Okay,
know.
then study 5 actually involved real money.
Right.
In a lab.
Yes. Study 5 moved from hypothetical choices to actual behavior. Participants came into the lab, took a selfie. Then they were randomly assigned to one of 3 conditions. Apply a beautifying filter to their selfie, apply an unflattering filter to their selfie, or apply a beautifying filter to a picture of a plant.
Okay, different manipulations there.
Right. Afterwards, they got paid for participating and were given a chance to donate some of that payment to a real local charity.
And the results? Who donated more?
The group that used the beautifying filter on their own selfie, they donated significantly more actual money than both the group with the unflattering filter and the group that beautified the plant photo.
That's really strong evidence. It's not just self-report, it's actual cash. And it shows it's specific to enhancing your own look, not just any beauty manipulation.
Exactly. Then study 6 looked at the flip side. What happens if the appearance change makes you feel worse?
Important comparison. How do they test that?
Similar recall method. One group recalled feeling more beautiful after a change. Another recalled feeling less beautiful. And a control group recalled a grocery store visit. Then they measured donation willingness, public self-awareness, and also appearance concern.
And what was the difference between feeling better versus feeling worse?
Okay, so replicating the previous findings, feeling more beautiful increased donation willingness, and this was mediated by public self-awareness. Now, interestingly, feeling less beautiful also increased public self-awareness and appearance concern.
Well,
But it did not lead to increased donation willingness.
right. So just being self-aware isn't the whole story. It seems to be that positive feeling about your appearance, combined with the awareness, that triggers the prosocial bit. Feeling bad about your looks makes you self-aware, but maybe more self-focused in a negative way.
That seems plausible, yes. The positive direction seems key. Finally, Study 7 took it out of the lab into a field experiment with online quizzes. Tell us about that.
Okay, so they created 2 online quizzes promoted on Facebook. One was cleverly designed to sort of subtly make people feel better about their appearance through the questions and feedback. The control quiz was neutral, about architecture. After finishing the quiz, everyone saw a banner ad for a real charity campaign. The researchers simply tracked the click-through rate, how many people clicked the donation banner.
A real-world behavioral measure. And did the appearance-boosting quiz lead to more clicks?
The click rate was numerically higher after the appearance quiz compared to the architecture one. Now, it didn't quite hit the traditional level for statistical significance in this particular study.
Okay.
But the researchers noted the click rate for both quizzes was actually quite high compared to typical Facebook ads, suggesting the quizzes themselves were engaging. And the trend was definitely in the direction predicted. The appearance quiz seemed to generate more interest in the donation appeal.
Right, so maybe a smaller effect in that specific context, but still pointing the same way. So looking across all 7 studies, recall tasks, imagination scenarios, photo editing, ethical choice, real donations, field experiment, Kononov, Ein-Gar, and Puntoni have built a pretty consistent case, wouldn't you say?
It certainly seems like it. A strong case for this link between appearance improvement, public self-awareness, and prosocial actions. So, stepping back, what's the big picture here? Why is this research important?
Well, I think its main importance is establishing this novel, frankly quite surprising link. It connects a really common, everyday self-focused behavior, trying to look good, with positive social outcomes, like being more generous or ethical.
Yeah, it shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from just the person asking for help or the cause itself, and onto the mindset of the potential helper, specifically related to their own appearance.
Exactly. That's a major shift. And as we mentioned, clarifying that bidirectional relationship between appearance improvement and public self-awareness is a solid theoretical contribution, too.
And there are practical implications, too, I suppose. For charities, maybe?
Potentially, yes. If feeling good about one's appearance can make someone more receptive to giving, maybe that subtly informs how nonprofits design their campaigns or even where they place their advertisements. It's an interesting thought.
So boiling it all down, invest a bit in feeling better about how you look. This heightens your awareness of your public image, and that heightened awareness makes you more inclined to act in socially desirable ways, like helping others.
That's the core finding, yes. And they did back this up statistically across the studies. They ran something called a Bayesian meta-analysis, which basically pools the evidence from all 7 studies. And it showed overall support for a consistent